Today, we will understand the minimum viable product. It's really important for each startup to develop and to test its concept, but usually it makes a lot of confusion in the new entrepreneurs. So, we are going to clarify the concepts today together. My name is Pacheco. I was an entrepreneur. I founded two startups with the investment of venture capital funds, and I work as consultant for many years now, using my knowledge to help other entrepreneurs. I also work for some venture capital funds, helping to understand the business, talk to entrepreneurs, and acting as mentor for them. And in addition, I am a speaker. I work to many big companies and many events to help spreading knowledge, because it's my mission. Here we have some of our clients. It's really important to understand that an idea only can become a business, a product, if it's validated by the customers. And if we want to validate an idea with the customers, we need the M.V.P, the minimum viable product. The minimum viable product is a concept that usually makes some confusion among the entrepreneurs. Because to develop a complete product, we need to follow some stages, and we'll understand each one of them now. When we will develop only the M.V.P, we don't need to do all the job. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. But many entrepreneurs think they can only develop a function product, but it's not enough. If I work only in this level of functionality, I will have some kind of ugly product that will not let me have the real feedback. I will have not all the information I need about my future product. So the correct approach for the M.V.P is to making just a little bit of all the levels of the product. I gotta have some functionality. I gotta use here the empathy design to develop something that the users will really understand how the final product will be. But of course, just a little bit of its level, because the idea here is not taking too much time and not spending a lot of money, because it's only a proof of concept. I will make it clear using some real cases that I was involved. First, we have this interesting example of one agribusiness startup that was planning to have a complete solution, developing a drone that would take some really good high resolution pictures from a farm, from a field, and the AI engine would use these pictures to develop a valuable report for the farm owner with some ideas, some tips, some recommendations that could improve the business. So they had three components on that: the drone, the code of machine learning and neural network program, and the reports, the final reports. But when the venture capital fund hired me to understand the business and talk to entrepreneurs, they were thinking about this phase, the minimum viable product, but they had understood wrong, because they were planning to build one prototype of the drone, take the pictures, and code the software. So I asked them, wait, how many time and how much will cost it? And they said, no, it probably take us for something like a year and something about $300,000 to develop this concept, this prototype. And I said, no, you got it completely wrong. And MVP is not a prototype. We don't need to prove that you can build a drone. I'm completely sure you can build a drone. I believe in your potential. Now we are trying to prove the viability of the product in the market. So we don't need the hardware right now. Let's think together. Can you use another kind of pictures? For example, we can use satellite pictures from Google Maps. And they said, no, it's not good enough. Okay, but if we rent a drone for another company, and they said, oh, okay, that's cool. That will be not as good as our drone will be, but we can use it. Perfect. And what about if instead of coding all the program, you use your knowledge already to evaluate manually the pictures, make a report, and take these reports to the farm's owner? Can we do that? Yeah, why not? We can do it. So now we have an MVP. We can make it with less money, less time, and have the same result for the farm owner, that is our client. So we can have the feedbacks and we can understand before taking times and spending money, before having all the job, we have the feedback, how much money the customer will give us. So we did it. Instead of 1 year, in 2 months, we were running the first MVP, and instead of spending $300,000, we spent only $50,000 to have the first MVP in place. Much better, right? Another so cool example was this cab application here in Brazil that is called Easy Taxi. That when the Uber was beginning in other countries and not in Brazil yet, they had the idea of having an app to fight with Uber, but using cabs, using taxis. They knew they need to evaluate the concept before. So what they do, they didn't develop an app. They just created a simple web form that you could access through the mobile phone or through the computer, and just put your name, your mobile number, and the address you are to have a cab. So the form sent the information to the back office that in that time was only the 2 founders. They really called the cabs and send the cabs there. And then they send an SMS to the customer. Just that. And using $250 in AdWords voucher, they could test the viability of this concept. They could test the interest of the customers. So when they came to talk with the investors, they have a really better position because they had a concept proved already. You can talk with the investors in another level. 2 sentences that I love about MVPs. First of them came from Steve Blank, that is a serial entrepreneur in Silicon Valley, and he said, MVP is the minimum set of resources of the products that you need to have the customer's feedback. Just that. The second one comes from one of the founders of Twitter. Hoffman said that if you don't feel shame of the first version of your application, you took too much time to launch it. And it's so correct, because in today's world, if we take so much time to launch the first version, probably one competitor will do it before me, because everybody has access to all the technology we need, and everybody are studying the same marketing, are having the same ideas. So be fast is really important here. That was everything that I had for today. Logos has one division specifically to help startups of all the kinds of size, and it's our really expertise. I worked many times. I worked for so I worked I worked for so long with this kind of topics, and I started helping another entrepreneurs with that, and then we realized that we could put good products for helping any startup. So call us and we will understand how to better help your company to grow. Now we will have the Q&A session. I would like to answer all questions you have, and if you have additional questions later, here we have my contacts. You can call us anytime. We will be happy to talk and exchange ideas. Thank you, and let's go to the question and answers.